All right. We are live. How's everybody doing this evening? It is the Godfather of VR, the ageless one of the man Lincoln Clay, and we are back for some Project Motor Racing. See here, make sure we got everything situated here. All right, I think we are good. So wanted to hop in, do a few laps. How's the multiplayer look? Yeah, unfortunately, this has become the norm. Probably be a few more people if I would have gotten on earlier. You know, it was the normal. I got home from work, took a nap, just woke up. Some hobbies. Let's see if Jester's in here anywhere. So yeah, my friend Jester is live. So if you haven't seen him, go check him out. Oh shoot. Looks like he's starting it. Now I'm actually pleasantly surprised. And so I'll do this race and then we will get into the title of my stream. And that is one Mr. Dave Cam. Basically made a video on Project Motor Racing, revisiting the game 3 months later and giving his thoughts. And that's nothing new. You know, over the past few months, after every update, somebody comes out with a video saying, let's check out the video. Is it improved? Yada, 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 you know, all that stuff. So the reason why I took a look at Dave Cam's video and decided to put it in the title is the rate at which it got views. When I was listening to it at work, and I couldn't listen to it word for word. Oh shoot, he did night race. Oh yeah, we definitely got to put the softs on here. And set up. Let's go with mid downforce so we can have a little bit of straight line speed. I cannot wait for this game to get the VR support. Oh, there's no way. No, I'm not hanging around for this. He's got practice set for over an hour. Okay. Let's go back to the pits. Yeah, he's got that. He's got the practice set for over an hour. Let's see here. Refresh. User multi-class. All right, we'll come back to that in a few minutes. So, as I was saying about Dave Cam's video, you know, his video is nothing new. You know, people put out videos all the time once a game comes out with a new update. And the reason why I'm making mention of his video, tell you the truth, I shouldn't have even done it. So don't be surprised if I end up changing the name of this stream as well as the thumbnail. But right here, right now, like I said, the reason why I'm talking about his particular video is the rate at which it got the views. I was watching from work, and when I was listening to the video from work, at 26 minutes after the video had been released, it had gained about 725 views. So you fast forward to now, which is about 8 hours later, and the video is sitting on 12,000 views. So that's where the Ignite content comes in. I think that once other creators see how many views his video got in such a short amount of time, I think I think some of these content creators who are actually trashing this game, they're gonna come out with a video and same pattern, same formula. Is Project Motor Racing improved? Da 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 da, and they'll make their one video and probably be done with it until the next big splash that this game might make. So, and as far as Dave Cam's video, he spoke about he spoke about the force feedback. He felt like the car felt light. He felt like going through corners. I think what he meant by the car feeling light was when you go through corners. I think it should have been. I'm thinking maybe he's feeling it should have been more resistance on the force feedback going through corners. He also complained about a delay with the throttle, and he what's the word I'm looking for? He switched the binding and made his clutch the throttle, and the same delay was still there. What else was he? Yeah, those were the two main things that stood out to me that he was complaining about. And needless to say, once he got done, you know, giving his thoughts, he pretty much said he wasn't going to revisit the game again. So we'll see what happens. But in any case, the point is that the video got a lot of views in a short amount of time. So I expect other content creators who trashed this game to come out of the woodworks and put out a video, try to get a quick 10,000, 20,000 views, and then go back to what they were doing. I mean, in some aspect, maybe you can make a case that, hey, you know, I fell into that trap because here I am talking about him. But I don't feel like I fall into that category because I was not one of the people who was trashing this game. You know, I pointed out this and pointed out that as I went along, but I didn't make an entire video just straight up trashing the game because I still like this game. I think the base, I think the core is there for this game, and it will get better over time. And I still maintain that I absolutely can't wait for the VR. Because I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this game. Not that I'm not right now. I am having fun with this game. It's just a shame that not too many people are playing online, but nonetheless, I'm still having fun with this game, and I definitely can't wait for the VR. But as far as, I don't know, well, if the game bounces back, watch how people come out in droves and basically come out making more videos about it. And I guess if I would have fell into that same trap, I would have done something like that with AC Evo. Myself, the game is not in a state where I'm going to put in any time, and I haven't dug deep enough into the game to even talk about every nook and cranny of the game. All I can tell you about the game is every time that I dive into it, I go straight to the VR, and the VR is not in a good state. It looks okay, but I don't think it runs okay. I mean, um I'm getting 45 frames per second, anywhere from 45 to 60 frames per second. And with VR, in my opinion, you need at least 90 frames per second to get a smooth experience. So, um, until the VR gets fixed, you won't see me jumping around too much in AC Evo. You know, I'll dive in there every now and then just to see what's going on with it. But nah, you're not really gonna see me make videos or live stream it or something until it's ready. So, but in the case of Project Motor Racing, yeah, I think you're gonna see some people make a couple of videos so they can get a couple of views, make a couple of bucks, and then move on. So there's that. I mean, you guys know who Dave Cam is, so if you want to see the video, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't take too much effort for you to look him up on YouTube and check the video out yourself. So no, I'm not going to show any of it here. For one thing, you know, I don't want to risk a strike. That's not to say that he would have hit me with a strike, but just not even going to chance it. And what he had to say, I really don't think it's worth doing a voiceover of his video and talking about it bit by bit. The whole point of it is that the amount of views they got in such a short amount of time, I think is going to draw out the copycat content creators, and they're going to do the same thing, making videos, try to get 10, 20, 30,000 views and then move on. Is this the same guy? Is this the same guy that still got that 1 hour practice lobby? Oh, he probably caught on to it. Looks like it's the same host. He probably caught on to it, shut it down, and started a new one. It looks like he's got a crew in here too. SMX, whatever that stands for. Everybody in here is an XMX driver except for me and the one space that just joined. Guess while we're waiting, very quickly, some of you know that coming up here pretty soon, you're gonna need age verification on Discord. Think you might have to upload a screenshot of your face, or your government ID, whatever the case may be. And the day that happens will probably be the day that I walk away from Discord. So
at Daysker3M said he and Gamer Muscle went back and forth the last time he tried PMR. Dave made up his mind about PMR after 5 minutes the first time he tried it.
Well, I don't know how much time he spent this go round, but his video is about 25 minutes. So at the very least, I'd like to think he spent at least 25 minutes in the game. It's like, damn, he still got this thing set for 80 minutes for practice. I thought, yeah, look at that. Practice is 80 minutes. 80 minutes of practice for a 5-lap race. So, nah, I'm not gonna sit in here. But, you know, one thing I think that Project Motor Racing has in common with Le Mans Ultimate is a lot of the criticism is disdain towards the studio, the publisher, or the director. In the case of Project Motor Racing, I think a lot of the criticism is directed towards Ian Bell. And I'm not going to jump on that hate train because I really don't know anything about Ian Bell. I mean, I didn't even know who he was until Project Motor Racing was announced. And I think it was going to be called GT Revival at first or something, because the basis of the game was going to be retro cars. And I think once they made the decision to add GT3s and hypercars, which I think was a smart move, then they changed it to Project Motor Racing. And then that's when I learned who Ian Bell was. So I wasn't really hearing much negativity about him leading up to the release of this game, except that he was that he was involved with Project Cars 2, and I don't know if it Need for Speed games or whatever. But once the game came out and all those big YouTubers absolutely trashed the game, then it seemed like Ian Bell's name blew up for the wrong reason. And in the case of Le Mans Ultimate, same thing happened. But I think in the case of Le Mans Ultimate, I think there are some big name YouTubers out there who are hypocrites, because they absolutely trashed Le Mans Ultimate when it first came out. And I think a lot of it was disdain towards Studio 397 and Motorsports Games, due to them, I guess, buying up several licenses with intentions of making separate racing games with each of those licenses. And I think the licenses that they acquired removed those genres from iRacing. In case in point, they had an IndyCar license and planned to make an IndyCar game, and they had to start trimming the fat, and I think they sold the license back to iRacing, and that's why you have IndyCars back on iRacing. But in any case, when Le Mans Ultimate first came out, people were trashing the game, mainly because of Motorsports Games, and then some of them were critical of the bugs. A lot of people were still critical about when R Factor 2 crashed in the middle of the virtual Le Mans 24 hours, which caused Max Verstappen to shut the game off and uninstall it. And people were critical of Motorsports Games selling DLC when the game was still in early access. And I thought, I'm thinking to myself, didn't Automobilista 2 do the same thing when that game first came out? I mean, they had a yearly pass that you could buy before you even knew what the content was. They haven't even announced what the content was. But the yearly pass was like, you get all the content for, whatever the upcoming year was. At Days for
3M said, Ian Bell is the Trump of sim racing. He could cure cancer and people will still say his game sucks.
I can agree with that. Now, to be fair, he did hype up the game. Most notably, he hyped up the AI, and the AI was definitely brain dead when this game first came out. But I think the heat came down on him for it. I think it might have been a little bit harsh. But I'm hesitant in saying that because I don't want to sound like a shill, and I don't want to sound like I'm glazing him or anything. But
at Days for 3M said, very true.
So coming back to the situation with Le Mans Ultimate, people were criticizing the game for selling DLC while it was still in early access. And now some of those people who were criticizing Le Mans Ultimate used to be ACC streamers. And I noticed how some of those streamers were a little bit evasive with their audience. When their audience were asking them, are you switching from ACC to Le Mans Ultimate? No, 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 I'm not going anywhere. ACC's not going anywhere. Now all they show is Le Mans Ultimate. And now they're singing Le Mans Ultimate's praises, giving it all kinds of flowers. And I kind of feel like that's hypocrisy because I believed in Le Mans Ultimate from the start. I streamed the game. Speaking of which, their 2-year anniversary is coming up here February 20th. I streamed that game February 20th, day one. And 6 days later, I streamed it in VR because I had stumbled across a video how to access the VR. It was already there. It's just they kept it hidden. And I accessed the VR and I was streaming the VR. And I even believe that the devs popped up in my stream a couple of times asking questions about how it ran and what my computer specs was. I believed in the game from the word go and never really criticized it. The only time I started being critical of Le Mans Ultimate was when the game got so popular that dirty driving started becoming a problem. And I wasn't criticizing the game. I was fearful of the game's longevity, that if they don't find a way to do something about this dirty driving, I was scared that a lot of people might leave Le Mans Ultimate. So at that time, I was urging, Project Motor Racing, Endurance Motor Racing,
At Days for 3M said, LMU has a narrow audience. GT3 and hypers. PMR promised a more varied roster.
Yeah, and that's because, and we all know that Le Mans Ultimate, that their traction cars is based on the real life WEC, which I'm fine with that. They expanded a little bit and included the European Le Mans series, and in all likelihood, once they give us this Barcelona DLC, the Asian Le Mans series will probably be next. After that, I would like to see them get the IMSA license, so that would give them a wide variety of tracks that they could add. But I wouldn't want them to go too far out of, beyond that, because I don't want Le Mans Ultimate or even this game to turn into the next iRacing, where you got so many different types of cars and so many different types of track that it spreads the user base thin. So, I mean, Le Mans Ultimate is at a point where no matter which race you select, there's people to race with. As far as class cars, Project Motor Racing, I definitely think it's got enough car classes. I think the only thing with Project Motor Racing that I would probably like to see, let me take a look, but I would probably like to see them add more Group C cars. Let's see how many Group C cars they've got.
At Dayscr 3M said, if LMU got an IMSA license, it would pouch a lot of iRacers.
And I would love to see that. Even if they didn't get an IMSA license, I think they could still at least snatch one of the tracks. They could probably snatch Road Atlanta, because that Road Atlanta is called Petit Le Mans. So this GTO class, they got 5 cars. Sports car 70. Now, I love that this car right here is part of the standard package with this game, because this car right here, if you go into GT7, this car costs you 20 million credits, which comes out to be $200 in real money if you were to buy enough in-game credits to purchase this car, which is absolutely absurd. The GT4s, let's see here. They got a good amount. 1, 2. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 GT4s. That's good. Right here with the NGTs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 964 trophy. So let's go all the way back to the beginning. Oops. So with the hypercars, they already got 9 hypercars, which I think is good because Le Mans Ultimate has 3 hypercars. They have 12 hypercars, but 3 of them is some like I think like a privateer brand that only like cultists is really familiar with. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which I think is a pretty good lineup of hypercars. I think the only thing they need to add is the Ferrari. LMPs, 4 cars. I mean, it's cool. As far as this class, I definitely like the BMW. That's still a slick looking car. Group C, here we go. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Group C cars. As far as what have we got here? The Porsche, the Nissan. I don't know if anything's missing from the Group C, but if there's any remaining Group C cars that needed to be added, I would love to see it. GT1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars. GT 1, 2, 3, 4. Holy shit! Now that DB9, this Aston Martin DBR9, that car sounds gorgeous on both this game and Automobilista 2. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cars. So yeah, good amount of GT cars. And this right here is the reason I bought Project Motor Racing. My plan was, at first I planned to buy the game day one when I thought the VR was going to be ready. But then they said the VR and the triple screen support wouldn't be ready at launch, that it would come at a later date. So I originally planned to wait until then.
At Daysker 3M said, PMR and SAC EVO have the same stigma. Hardcore sim racers don't want to race against people on controllers, even though many console people have wheels.
I can see people feeling that way. I can see people feeling that way with AC EVO, especially being that it's strictly on PC at the moment. But in the case of Project Motor Racing, and even Rensport, Project Motor Racing, Rensport, F125, these are all racing games that are crossplay with consoles. So it's to be expected that a good amount of people on those games are going to be on controllers. So, yeah. Now, honestly speaking, I'm not a PC snob. I am, but I'm not. Because I think the PC community does so much, because they deliver things that big AAA publishers won't do. So in case in point, I love VR, and Sony started out this generation giving us a few AAA hybrid VR games with Resident Evil Village and Resident Evil 4 remake in VR, along with GT7 getting VR support. But after that, it was like, and they're letting third party do their thing. So there's
At Daysker 3M said, controller equals simcade in many sim racers' eyes.
I can see where they feel that way, but my biggest problem with controller racers are that a lot of them are casuals, and they're probably not very skilled. On PC, a lot of people that play racing games on PC have a racing wheel, even if it's something that's as entry level as the Logitech G29. But at least they have a wheel, and chances are they are probably better than the average controller user. So to me, controller equals less experience on average. And then, you know, God forbid if, you know, a 6-year-old kid gets hold of a controller and starts wiping people out. So where I was going with that was that if this game ever blows up like Le Mans Ultimate did, I might possibly shut crossplay off.
At Daysker3M said, that's what keep hardcore people away.
Well, I get that too, because at that point the line is drawn in the sand. I mean, Rennsport, to me, I felt like Rennsport came into this space with the intentions of trying to compete with an iRacing or ACC or Le Mans Ultimate. But to me, it seemed like at the last minute, they made the pivot to go and add console support, because I don't think the game was going to do very well on PC alone. People complained about the bugs. People complained about the I think the structure of the game, where you only own one car and you got to buy the rest of them or something like that. I can't really remember. So yeah, there was a lot of complaints about Rennsport. People complained about the physics, felt like it was too slidey, that kind of thing. So I think if Rennsport would have been just on PC alone, it was going to be an uphill battle. So I think they made a last second decision, and they pivoted and went to an added console. I don't know if that was the case with Project Motor Racing. I don't know if this started out being intended only on PC, and then they made the last minute decision to go to console. But what I will say is, and I'm being honest when I say this, I do think they made the decision to launch this game, make it a full launch instead of being in the early access like they should have been. I think they were trying to recoup all the money at once that they spent on this game, because just the licenses alone probably cost them a ton of money. You know, I think using Le Mans Ultimate for an example, I really don't know how the licensing thing works, but one would be within, you know, logic if they suggested that in the case of Le Mans Ultimate, that any content they want to put on there, they could probably go directly to the WEC and just get all the licenses through them, instead of having to go to this individual track and get the license, go to this particular team and get their license and stuff. So this game here doesn't really seem to be promoting IMSA or the WEC. To me, it looks like they just got a lot of cars and a few tracks. And I think the proof is in the pudding that they probably went and visited all these entities individually, because some of the tracks don't have the proper names.
Said, it's not so much about the game itself. It's the hype. All the influencers made it seem like PMR and EVO were going to be hardcore sims. I think they both were always meant to compete with GT7.
Well, I felt that way about EVO right from the get-go, because with the original Assetto Corsa, Kuno's CEO, Marco Massaruto, in an interview with Traxion GG, said when they created Assetto Corsa, it was inspired by the Gran Turismo franchise, because he wanted to give people a Gran Turismo type game on PC, because there wasn't one at the time. So, and then the modding community, you know, made that game a huge success. That being said, that I assume that was the intention with AC EVO, was to try to go after that GT7 crowd. Because there is plan to bring that game to console at some point. And in the case of Project Motor Racing, I felt like Project Motor Racing might be trying to carve their own path, because leading up to the release of Project Motor Racing, you always seen clips on Twitter, posts on Twitter of them posting what car just got added. And it was always, other than up until the point that they showed that hypercars were being added, most of the cars that they showed were retro cars. You know, the GT cars, the GTOs and stuff. So I was led to believe that the intention of this game was to be a retro racing game. So I don't feel like it was trying to compete with iRacing or GT7 or anything like that. I do feel like it probably was intended to be a hardcore game, just a hardcore retro game. So I can't even say if the physics on this game feel a little arcadey or not. But to go back to what I was saying about this GTE class, this is why I bought the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 GTEs. And I think that's amazing. They gave this entire class away, the GTE class. They gave this as a pre-order bonus. That's why I bought this game, because I intended to wait until it got VR support, but they giving you 7 GTE cars. I don't know how many GTEs that iRacing has. So the only thing that's missing from these GTEs, to my knowledge, is the Ferrari 488. So I think they gave you a good lineup of GTE cars, and the GTE class is my favorite. So when they gave you this as a pre-order bonus, I had to grab it. All right, let's see what we got for custom lobbies. GT3 Sao Paulo. We'll go in here for a minute. Oh, it's gone. Hey, wait a minute. Where's the refresh?
At Daysker3M said, GTE is underappreciated. It's one of best classes in iRacing and LMU. Too bad it doesn't get a lot of love. Only because it away IRL.
Honestly, on Le Mans Ultimate, see, they're kind of periodic about the way they utilize the GTE class on Le Mans Ultimate. It's like they'll give us the GTE class for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then we won't see it for a while, and then they'll like go back to the P3 class. But to my surprise, when they put the GTE class in the bronze races, there's a good amount of participation, to tell you the truth. And this is where PMR has a huge advantage over Le Mans Ultimate, because they've got 7 GTEs, whereas Le Mans Ultimate has 4. And I've tagged Le Mans Ultimate. I've tagged them before, because I'm absolutely begging, can we please get the BMW M8 in the 4 GTE on Le Mans Ultimate? And then like they do that, I would be ecstatic. Cause from there, it'll be like, I don't care what you do after that. Oh, he left. And I'm not a person that's going to sit and wait. Let's see what's up with this multi-class. If I don't see anything here, I guess we'll just do a single player race. So that is so unfortunate with this game. All right, we'll do a single player race. What shall it be? Just not feeling Nürburgring. Yeah, why not? Let's do this one. Surprisingly, on Dave Cam's video, he did give the game praise because he says the game does look better. He thought the graphics were pretty good, and he thought it ran pretty good. He just wasn't happy with something with the physics.
Lots of cars to pass, just get your elbows up.
All right, let's get some soft tires on here since this is only a 5-lap race. All right, let's go. It must be something about Project Motor Racing that gives me bad luck on Le Mans Ultimate. Because whenever I'm playing Project Motor Racing, things aren't going so good on the Le Mans Ultimate side. And yesterday, I did 2 races against my better judgment doing the bronze beginner races. And needless to say, I got taken out in both races. I ended up reporting one of them. And I've lost a lot of
At Daysker 3M said, the delay in throttle input was his biggest complaint.
Yeah, I saw that. And he even switched his pedals to make sure he didn't have an issue with his pedals, and he made his clutch the throttle.
Keep focused.
I don't feel like there's a delay. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Oh, come on, the AI's blocking me.
At Daysker 3M said, there was clearly a delay for him. The throttle needed to be over 75% to have any reaction in PMR.
Yeah, I mean, I did notice that. But if you look at my cam, oh, but my pedal cam's in the way, so you guys can't really see it. But I'm not really noticing a delay. But you can match up the car revs to my foot. When I look at the meter, it seems immediate. They lost it.
At Daysker3M said, from watching your foot on the video, you are 50% throttle or so before there is any audible difference.
Yeah, but looking at the meter is covered up by my cam. But looking at the meters, it's immediate. Ah, shit. So let me see if I can slide this cam over real quick. Let me see if I can slide this pedal cam over real quick. Okay, so I'm going to slide this over real quick. My pedal cam. Now let me resume. Now watch my foot versus that meter in the corner.
At Daysker3M said, it was immediate on the input graph for Dave Cam 2. It was the audible delay he was complaining about. Okay,
I thought he was talking about like his input on the pedal versus the meter. So yeah, the audible, yeah, it definitely sounds like there's a slight delay with the audio. All right, let me put that back. So I don't know I really don't know what to make of that.
At Daysker3M said, the car wasn't accelerating. It was throwing him off.
Now that part, yeah, I've seen him talk about that too. When the car looked like it was coasting when it should have been accelerating. But like, I still haven't grasped 100% of everything that all the notes that he was making. My biggest reason for even making this, like putting him in his name in the title is because of the amount of views that his video got. And in such a short amount of time, because it's sitting on about 12,000 views right now. And I know that's going to bring out the copycat influencers that they're probably going to see how many views he got in such a short amount of time, and they're going to jump up and do the same thing and make the same type of video. Oh, let's check out, you know, Project Motor Racing 2-3 months later. Is it improved? Patch 1.6, yada yada yada. And then they'll say what they got to say, and if they still don't like it, then they move on. But the point is, the point is that for the huge YouTubers, that's probably a free 10, 20,000 views. Oh shit.
White flags out.
Oh, no, 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 no. So
Next time we come back here, one of the bars
myself, like when this game first came out and everybody was trashing this game, I did not go out of my way to find things wrong with this game. If something dropped right in my lap that I noticed, then yeah, I said something, but I didn't go through
At
this.
Daysker3M said, sim racers are sheep. Unless Max or another IRL driver comes out and says they really like PMR, it's going to struggle to be accepted by anyone not on console. Erasing and LMU will keep dominating.
I think what you're saying does have some merit. However, when Max Verstappen called the virtual 24
At
hours of
3:37 Raekwon said, "What wheel rotation are you using?"
I've got it set to about 390
At
degrees.
Adrenaluquite said, "I'm personally enjoying Race Room more than LMU."
For a minute, I was enjoying Race Room more than LMU, but honestly, in my opinion, the badges have saved LMU. The driver badges.
At
because
Days4 3M said, "I personally prefer Race Room and AMS2 better."
Now, oh yeah, we're going to get the AMS2 here in a second, but Race Room felt like a breath of fresh air with with them redoing everything, because Le Mans Ultimate had gotten to the point where people were starting to call it Wreckfest, and I wasn't on the verge of walking away from Le Mans Ultimate, but my frustration had reached an all-time high with all the dirty driving and stuff and the over-aggressive driving. So now for some people, they feel like the driver badges have not helped, but I think they have. For me, I've seen more good races than bad. There's still a couple of idiots here and there. Now, I think there's still some over-aggressive drivers in there.
At 3:37 Raekwon said, "Thanks for the info, I was 540.
I'm one of those guys that, like, if I'm coming up on the hairpin turn, like turn 1 at Spa, I'm not trying to crank the wheel all the way over like this and shit like that. I need to be able to probably turn it that much and get get as much rotation as possible. So sometimes that can come back and bite me in the ass, because sometimes it can get really easy to oversteer the car and get snap oversteer. But I'd rather take that chance than I turn the wheel this much and the car still like understeers off the track because I turned this much, but the wheels themselves actually turn that much. So yeah, it took me a while to get to that point. When I first started like sim racing on ACC and shit like that, whatever the wheel rotation was, I took it. But over the years, it just kept shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. Now, AMS2. There is something coming up on AMS2 that I think is going to help the game, but I don't know how much. They're going to be integrating, I think, SimGrid, and I forgot what the other race format is. I think it's going to be SimGrid and Le Mans Low Fuel Motorsports. They're going to be integrating it into AMS2. So I guess what I'm saying is that I guess that's going to be their way of
At Days4 3M said, "The difference between erasing and LMU is the consequence of a contact is not as severe as erasing. So people are more aggressive when they know they are not going spin off for a tap."
Yeah, from what I'm hearing, the network on Le Mans Ultimate is much better than iRacing, because I'm hearing it with iRacing that if you just barely make contact, people will get pinballed off the track. Whereas with Le Mans Ultimates, the cars can bump, grind, scrape, whatever, and not immediately get taken out. But with Automobilista 2, yeah, they're going to be integrating Low Fuel Motorsports and SimGrid into the game. So that means that when you want to enter a ranked race, I'm under the impression that you pick the race you want, and it's probably going to bring up the website, and then you enter the race and then close the page. So I think all that's going to do is just save you the hassle of having to minimize your game
At
and then open up a web
99%
browser.
Said, "So basically Dave Camp lie?"
No, I never said he lied. No, I don't. I mean, he gave his opinions. So he didn't say anything that I felt to be fact or fiction. He stated what his problem was with the game, and that was it. The reason why I brought up Dave Cam is because of how many views he got in such a short amount of time. His video's been out for about 8 hours and it's already got 12,000 views. So I think what that's going to do is make all the copycat streamers come out of the bushes, and then they make the same type of videos hoping to get a quick 10, 20,000 views. So it wasn't this, putting his name in the title wasn't to call out what his opinions are of the game, because I've got my issues with the game. One of the issues that I'm having with the game is when I go into online races, my car is skipping gears. I go to upshift from first gear and it jumps all the way to fourth.
At Adrenaluquity said, "Do you think when I met a real-life racing team's engineer that he could tell I was stoned? I bet my eyes were blood red."
Yeah, I don't know. An interesting way to meet a real-life engineer. So, but yeah, the thing that I'm complaining about with Project Motor Racing, nobody else seems to be experiencing that. I seem to be the only one that's experiencing those issues where when I'm in an online race, the car is skipping gears. It jumps from first gear to fourth gear, or from second gear to fifth, and so on. It doesn't do it when I'm downshifting. It only happens when I'm upshifting, and it happens when I'm racing online. It doesn't happen during single player races. So that's the problems that I'm having with it. And so Dave Cam stated the problems that he's having with it. And so no, I don't think that makes him a liar. I think that's him just stating the problems that he has with the game. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. The problems that he's having with the game. Some other people may experience it, some may not. Not to mention that he's got some high-end pedals. When he was complaining about the audio with the delay. So yeah, I mean, I just back that up. As far as when I step on the pedal, I see.
At Adrenaluquity said, "I think Dave is cool."
Yeah, I think he's cool too. I mean, I follow him. I sub to his channel. I like his comments. I mean, I like his content on YouTube. And whatever he makes, him and his wife Julie, whenever they make comments on Twitter, I usually give it a like and usually give a comment here and there, and they'll even respond to some of them. So no, I absolutely like Dave Cam. So this wasn't this wasn't to call him out. It's just to point out that I think his video is going to set the tone for a lot of copycats to come out of the bushes and try to get themselves a quick 10, 20,000 views. I think like right now, a lot of smaller channels are saying, Project Motor Racing, has it gotten any better? And they'll do a video and, I don't even really pay attention to how many views they got. I might watch a few minutes of the video and then move on. But since I'm subbed to Dave Cam and I like his content, I try to listen to the entire video. And I didn't really think anything of it. And then after the video was over, I took a quick look, and it was like video was uploaded 26 minutes ago, 725 views. And I'm thinking to myself, by this time tomorrow, the video's probably going to have 10,000 views. But lo and behold, I wake up from a nap 8 hours later after I got out of work. I wake up and the video's got around 12,000 views. And Dave is well respected within the racing community, so I know other big name YouTubers have probably watched this video and seen how many views it's got, and they're going to do the same copycat shit and make the same kind of video and says, oh, Project Motor Racing 1.6 isn't improved, has it gotten better, and yada, yada, yada.
At Dejavu 323 said, in the new update you have to calibrate the pedals and wheel.
Possibly, but you know, as far as the steering and the pedals goes, I'm not having a problem with it. My only problem is happening online with it, with the gear skipping. You know, I don't know if rebinding the buttons would help, but I mean, I guess it couldn't hurt to try. So yeah, I mean, what I'm experiencing, I haven't heard anybody else complain about it. From what I'm seeing, my complaints about the game, I'm the only one that's complaining about it, and that's the gear skipping in online races. Even when this game first came out and everybody was screaming that this game was a buggy mess, I was not experiencing that many drops, you know, because like, I guess, to be honest, even if it sounds narcissist or whatever, but my computer's a beast. It's got a 4090 in it. And so while everybody else was experiencing all this stuff, I wasn't. Even on my weaker computer that's got a 3070 Ti, I still wasn't experiencing a lot of network issues. And the biggest issue that I was seeing with the network when PMR first came out is whenever the host leaves, the entire room drops.
Said, I think Dave Cam's issue was more about the audio didn't match to pedal graph and the car wasn't accelerating the same as in LMUNI racing.
Nah,
what he heard didn't match he saw.
In that part, I think it would be safe to say that I didn't catch that part because I was listening to it at work rather than watching it, because you know, I work in a factory, and that's not going to go over well with the bosses if they see you watching stuff on your phone when you're supposed to be working. So I was listening to it on headphones. And then once I got home, I kind of skimmed over the video again to try to get the bullet points. And the stuff that the issues that he was having, I just don't, I don't really feel like I'm having them. And then, yeah, as far as when he puts the pedal down and there seems to be a slight delay before you hear the RPMs go up with the car. Yeah, okay, I caught that. You know, I see it now that it's been pointed out, but I don't really find that to be an issue. You know, I think the devs probably have bigger fish to fry right now, but I would like to think that if that's something that if the complaints get way too big, they will address it. Let's see here, have a look at the multiplayer custom lobbies again. Here's a user class. Here's a user, multi-user with at least 6 people in here. And I will stick with my Corvette. So I'll hang around for this one. There we go. There's another and another. And there's only a couple of us using GT3s. So yeah, I'll hang around for this race. So yeah, once again, no way is this stream meant to disrespect Dave Cam, or call him a liar or anything like that. It's just to point out that again, how many views he got in such a short amount of time. I think some of the YouTubers that are probably circling like a vulture are going to see an opportunity to snatch up a quick 10, 20,000 views, and they're going to make a video. Oh, look at this. Well, Le Mans Ultimate, all the trashing that people did to Le Mans Ultimate. And then they, like, all the big name YouTubers came in, trashed it, criticized it, and then they left. And then as Le Mans Ultimate, the big thing that helped with Le Mans Ultimate.
3M said, C. 2 out of 10 on PC.
If you're talking about that's what the Is that what they're giving it, like a 2 out of 10? I can't argue with anybody's opinion. That's subjective. My take on the game is I love the game. I can't wait for it to get VR. I think the groundwork is there to have a really good game. Sure, they've got some work to do, but I think the groundwork is there. And shit, you definitely got to get. I definitely give this game a seal of approval. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done the giveaways. So, I think in total, I've given away 4 keys to this game. I gave one to one of my teammates, and I think the other 3 I gave away during a stream. And I think a bot might have gotten hold of one of the keys, because I think the other 2 keys that I gave away, whoever got them, they came forth and said, yeah, I got the key, it worked. So I definitely wouldn't be giving away keys to a game that I think is trash. All right, we got 10 minutes of qualifying. That's cool. Let's go. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Now you guys are going to see the car skip gears. Watch.
At Daysker3M said, I don't think the graphics will be very well optimized for VR. It's pretty hard on a lot of systems as is.
That is true. That is true. But on the other hand, I think the
At DejaVu323 said, have you downloaded the setup mods?
Yeah, I downloaded some setups.
Clear of pit lane.
Oh, it's shifting gears. It's doing it right this time.
At DejaVu323 said, it makes for better experience.
Oh, there it is right there. Just skip gears. That's what I was complaining about. Okay, let me pull to the side and show you guys. Okay, so you guys see my right hand right there. I'm gonna click and hold it and watch it jump all the way up to 6. That was 1 click. Now I come over here with my left hand, I click and hold it. Yeah, and it's dropping all the way back down to first, but it's not doing it as fast. Transmission is set to manual. Controls. Page up, page down. What the hell is that? Oh shit, disqualified. Okay. Oh shit, I got disqualified from quali. How much time we got left? Let's put the sauce back on here. Setup. We will go with mid downforce for the setup. All right. Guess we got to sit around for a couple of minutes. And I think I can take that minute, take a moment to go and grab a drink. I will be right back. And I will leave it here instead of giving you guys the intermission trailer. I'll be right back. Oopsie. Okay. Gotta grab a quick drink. So to come back to that comment about saying that the graphics won't be very well optimized for VR, I think that would probably be true at this point. But I think the VR is the reason they went with the farming simulator. I'm not sure, because originally I think they were going to go with the Madness engine. So at first, when it appeared they were going to go with the Madness engine, I'm thinking to myself, okay, the VR is going to look and run just as good as Automobilista 2, because no question, when it comes to VR, hands down, Automobilista 2 is, in my opinion, is the best looking racing game in VR. There's no way you're going to change my mind. You know, some people who never been outside of the PS5 will swear up and down that GT7 is the best looking game in VR, and I disagree. I would put, because of the reprojection, which makes the game look blurry in some instances, I would put GT7 at about 4th as far as best looking VR game, because sharpness and performance relative to ghosting and that sort of thing, that's important to me. So
At Daysker3M said, I think it will be hard to have cutting-edge graphics on both console and PC with the farming engine.
Even if they didn't use the farming edge, and even if they didn't use the farming simulator engine, I think you are still correct in the point that in the sense that these current consoles, the PS5 and the Series X and the Pro, they have a lot of power for consoles, but developers still have to account for weaker PCs as well as the weaker Xbox Series S. So them having to aim for the lowest common denominator already, you know, puts the graphics behind the 8 ball. But as far as flat screen goes, I can be honest and dare say that GT7 might be the best looking game overall. As far as sim racing goes, but I think a case can be made for Forza Motorsports, because when it comes to like the night races, the reflections on the car hood.
At Daysker3M said, the Quest 3 has 120 Hz capability, but aren't consoles locked at 60 Hz?
Yeah, the console was locked at 60 Hz, but the PSVR 2 can do 120 frames using reprojection. And in some cases, if you're playing a low demand VR game, it can actually do 120 frames native if you're doing a game that's a slow moving puzzle game that doesn't have a lot of graphics to it. But as far as flat screen goes, shit, I think GT7 definitely does 60 frames per second, but I think in the case of the PlayStation Pro, I think it might be able to do like 120 frames per second, like in like a performance type mode. But I think it would take your resolution down to like a native, I think like a native 1080p, like upscaled back up to like 1800p or something. See what we got. How many? Still got a decent amount of people in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Considering that it is 11:17 p.m.
At Daysker3M said, that's what I mean. I think it will be hard to optimize for all the platforms.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I just don't think that the engine itself will be the reason why it's going to be hard to optimize for all platforms. I think it might be hard to optimize for all platforms because of, you know, you've got so many different configurations with tons of different PC configurations, as well as Xbox Series X, Series S, PS5, PS5 Pro. Let's go. Let's go.
Ain't no stopping this train. Whoa!
Also, let's go Voltron Force. And if you would be so kind to hit the like button, I would appreciate it. Let's go, go, go. I think I'm starting dead last because I got DQ'd. I do have one more request for this game. I think they need the car icon, so whenever you get damage, you can see exactly where the damage is at, whether it's on the front bumper, rear bumper, whether you lost a tire or whatever the case may be. So I don't want messages flashing up on the screen saying light damage, you know, heavy damage or whatever. I want to see it. You know, I want to see an icon that shows me exactly where the damage is at. Oh my God, here we go. Hypercar waiting for him. Oh, it skipped on me. Oh, come on. Oh, my Lord. Oh, shit. That's on me.
Race officials called a track limit violation.
Damn. They hit me with a 1 second penalty. I was so busy looking at that penalty. Oh, come on. Oh, I got greedy. Oh my God, got hit with another penalty. I might as well slow down because I'm not going to catch anybody at this moment. Oh my God, again. Oh my God, it just jumped from second to sixth. Ah!
Got a ping, we're fastest car on track.
Really, dude? Wow. The dude looked like he was trying to make a last hit at me. Oh my God.
Racing for position. On the podium, sponsors will be happy.
One other thing I do think they should take a look at is the penalty system, where they're evaluating and then they say slow down to give 2 point whatever seconds back. I hate to say it, if they're going to put in that kind of penalty system, they should probably do the same thing as GT7 and make your car turn into a ghost. You know, like pick a certain zone where you have to slow down, or you'll be slowed down automatically and your car turns into a ghost, because some of these guys are slowing down like I just did. I slowed down in the middle of the track and somebody rear-ended me. I slowed down because I was trying to serve a penalty, and that's going to create a lot of chaos when a car slows down in the middle of the track, because just like I did, like, honestly, I should have moved off to the side to serve that penalty. But instead, I slowed down right in the middle of the track, and I think one of the hypercars rear-ended me. So that's something I think they should take a look at. So they're going to switch tracks? I mean, some things they definitely did improve on, and in that one of them was when this game first came out. After this session was over, the host would have to shut this room down in order to change tracks. He would have to shut this room down and start up a new one. But now I think you have host migration now, and you do have the ability to change tracks without having to leave the session. So I think whoever the new host is, I don't think he realizes that he is the host. So we could find ourselves going back to this same track. Yeah, that was wild how dude tried to take me out. The host is using Acura. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for hanging out. It's pretty late, so I'm very pleasantly surprised by how many of you are watching. And shout out to my friends who, in my opinion, have kept this game going with Gesture, Boris, Metz, and although I don't know him, you know, shout out to Chunky GT as well, because I know he was pretty heavy into this game when it first came out. I don't know what he's been doing lately, though. Let's get that mid-force setup again. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Voltron Force.
All clear.
One attention to detail I like about this game is when there's debris flying everywhere. When you get like chunks of tire rubber getting flicked in your face. So I'd like that attention to detail.
time out there.
No! That just destroyed my decent lap. That destroyed my decent lap.
Session ends in 5 minutes. minute remaining in the session.
Oh shit! Ow! 1.5. I was on my way to like a 144.5 or something. Ah!
Checker flag out. Session is done.
Yeah. But once we get the VR support, I guarantee I'll get into the 143s. Let's see, we still got the soft tires on here. Oh no, they got me on mediums. And let's load that mid setup again. Okie dokie. Oh, we still got a minute and a half. Wonder if that's enough time for me to run to not the bathroom, but to grab another drink. I'll take a chance. I'll be right back, folks.
There's some very fast guys out there, mate. P2 is awesome. We're in a good spot.
Whoops, didn't get a chance to get my drink. So just like that, we gotta go. Ooh, excuse me. Wait a minute, 2 people have already been DQ'd and the race hasn't even started yet? Okay. I guess I'm just racing for a personal best then. Wow. Go ahead. I don't want no smoke. he knows how to drive that hypercar.
At Deja Vu 323 said, make sure you download Juan Konabi setups, they are a good, you gain some more time.
Alright. Oh shit, look at this, I gotta get this time back.
At Peterman Hoso 8274 said, can I play next?
Sure.
At Vandrake 1 said, the problem was the car wasn't accelerating.
Yeah, like he had Dave Cam had several complaints, and everybody's experiencing their own set of issues. I've got my set of issues with this game, but only a few.
Vandrake, thanks for following.
I appreciate the follow, thank you. Oh! I thought I was going to oversteer the car. For that chicane right there, I need my VR. Because I can see it better.
So it's not the position. Near clean pass.
At Petermanhoso8274 said, I struggle in that chicane.
Yeah, well, I can hit it in VR because that's my preferred way to race. But yeah, and not to mention that the car is a little bit slidey too. That's the biggest problem with that chicane. Oh, look at that. I gotta slow down to get that time back. They're probably gonna tack on some time because I didn't slow down.
You are the race winner. Fantastic result. Incredible drive.
I was trying to aim to get into 144s, but like I said before, once I get my VR support for this, I'll get into the 143s for this. All right, let's go back and see what we can find since this is empty. Oh, and I'm the host now. Oh, Mr. EJR, let's join him. I'm guessing he's probably live as well. And he's okay. He's got the GTO. Where am I at? You know what? I'm gonna stay with my GT. Oh, has he started the countdown yet? You know what? I think I'm in the mood to hear that Aston Martin.
At Oaksit said, how you doing there, Lincoln?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you? Yeah, I think I'm in the mood to hear the DBR9. Yeah, let's go with that. So yeah, as I was about to say, another guy I got to give him his flowers is EJR. He's another person that supported this game from the word go, and he never veered away from this game. And I mean, just like everybody else, he had his he had his criticism or issues that he might have found wrong with the game. And just like everybody else, he knows that this game does need some work, but he's a guy that stuck with this game right from the beginning. So he never veered away from this game. So, credit where it's due. So yeah, I guess if you include EJR, so yeah, I have to say EJR, my friend Gesture and my friend Boris, those have been the three biggest supporters of this game, and Metz is right behind him. He was right there with them, blow for blow, in terms of how much he supported the game. He still does support the game, but he did get away from it for a couple of weeks. But he's back at it. You know, and then I was away. I had got away from this game for almost a month because of health issues. Um, you know, I've had to go to the doctor a couple of times. So, you know, my situation is just part of getting old, but yeah, like I'll get back to streaming Project Motor Racing at the very least once a week. Try to aim for twice a week. Set up. Let's get that mid down force. All right, let's hear this glorious DB9. I think the entire GTE class, all the cars sound nice, but this DBR9 sounds absolutely incredible on Automobilista 2 and this game. That high pitch. Woo. These cars don't have ABS, so I gotta be extra careful. Apparently no ABS, no traction control either, it appears. Yeah, no traction control, no ABS. Maybe should have stuck with my Corvette GT3. Oh, Christ. Oh shit, missed the brake marker.
Final minutes of the session. done. Check your flag this lap.
Oh! But I was really hoping qualifying would go better for us. Ay, ay, ay. Car sounds gorgeous, though. Make sure we got the softs back on. I'm going to go with the low downforce because I need this car to stick to the track. All right, once again, let's go Voltron Force. Oh, shoot. Ironically, that's one of the names of my PCs. You know, I have 4 PCs, but I sold one of them about 3 weeks ago. But my remaining PCs, the one that I'm sitting at right now is named Voltron. The one in that room back there is named Voltron Jr. And then the PC in my bedroom is called Bumblebee. So... this probably isn't going to end well at turn 1. Oh my God. Look at the flames coming out of the car. That was pretty slick.
At Eraser Trey Sewer. Said. Hugs and kisses.
Same to you. Shade from the tree is making the track hard to see at some points. I could see that wasn't going to end well. I hit the brakes late. Cars a raw, untamed animal. No ABS, no traction control. I think this is probably what they envisioned when they developed this game. Just pure raw racing. Retro racing. Oh. Wee. Lovely sounding car, but I don't know if I want to drive it again. That thing was
That's a podium, mate. Lovely work.
That thing was like trying to tame a wild ass horse.
At Digital Dusty Roads said, "Nice title LOL. The guy was just looking for something to complain about, so he found a weird bug to complain about. I tried to recreate it and I couldn't recreate it."
Possibly. I mean, I'm not going to argue with that, you know. So, hold on, I got to sneeze. Excuse me. So I know people have been coming in and out, so they probably missed a lot of what I said at the beginning of the stream. Let's change up. You know what? Let's do it. Let's go with that. Let's see what EJ's got next. So yeah, I hope the title this
Midnight BLK 423. Thanks for following.
Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. So the reason I put Dave Cam in the title of this stream, everybody's got their complaints about this game. You know, my complaint about the game, I've got 3 complaints about the game. One is that when I'm racing in an online race, there's the chime. Thanks for the follow. One of my complaints is that when I'm racing online, the car is skipping gears. It'll, like, if I don't give it a quick flick and I hold it, it'll jump from like 2nd to 4th gear, 3rd to 5th, what have you. So that could be a compatibility issue, whatever the case may be, between my specific wheelbase in the game and the network, whatever, with the game. The second complaint I have is with the penalty system, where they put a penalty on you and they tell you to slow down and you got to slow down for 2 seconds. People, myself included, are slowing down in the middle of the track, and it's causing wrecks because I slowed down in the middle of the track. It's been a while since I played this game, so I kind of forgot that, you know, I'm slowing down. I got to move off to the side. Unlike GT7, when you reach a certain zone on the track, the game automatically slows you down and you turn into a ghost. It's not the case with this game. So I think they need to revise how you serve your penalties. Instead of people slowing down in the middle of the track causing wrecks, I think that needs to be revisited. I don't have a problem with the penalty system itself. I think it just probably needs to be tweaked a little bit. And the third complaint, and it's not even a complaint, it's a request more or less, and that's the damage to the car. When you take damage, all it says is you get a message that says light damage, mid damage, heavy damage, whatever. I'd like to see a car icon, just like on most games, where when you take damage, you can see exactly where the damage is at, whether it's in the front, back, side, or in this case, if they added those types of physics in the game, if you lose a tire, I want to see the tire icon go red, indicating that I lost a tire. But that's it. That's all I got. Other than that, the game has run pretty good for me. I've only had a handful of crashes. It does run good on all of my PCs, so I don't really have an issue with performance. Now the physics in terms of how the cars handle, yeah, some cars are slidey, some cars are twitchy, but physics are physics. You either adjust or you don't. I did that for the longest with Forza. I complained about the physics for the longest because at 0 degrees, there was a lot of resistance. But once you turned the wheel so far, the force feedback just totally dropped off. And it was like really easy to whip the wheel around like that. And I complained about it for the longest. And then after a while, I was like, you know what? You got to shut the fuck up with this complaining and get in there and learn the physics. Because you can't expect the devs to change the physics to your liking. You just gonna have to get in there and adjust to it and just learn to make the adjustment. So like people complain about the physics of Automobile Lister 2 being too slidey and too floaty. Maybe, but I don't have a problem with it. I like it. I don't know, Lexington. I'm not familiar with this track. So it's actually a good thing that I took a GT3 this time. So, short story long, Dave Camp being in the title of this stream was not to call him a liar or say that his complaints weren't valid. The reason why I put him in the stream is his name in the stream is because of how many views he built up in such a short amount of time. Before I went live, he had 12,000 views on that video over an 8-hour stretch. And there's got to be other content creators that probably saw that, and they're probably making videos as we speak. you know, somebody that's got 50,000 subs all of a sudden comes up with a video.
AddixWrath_Gradner said, when you take damage you can feel it through the wheel. As for a damage indicator diagram isn't very sim. As for the penalties, real racers are responsible for serving them. I find it immersive.
And I mean, that's and that's a preference thing. That is your preference. I just think that when you get a penalty, I mean, in a real life, you saying something isn't very sim. I think when you get a penalty, having to slow down right in the middle of the track isn't very sim. I mean, in my opinion, it destroys the flow of the race, and it can cause a huge wreck if there's a bunch of cars behind you and you all of a sudden have to slow down because you have to serve a penalty. So I think they should do that a different way. Maybe if you build up so many points, then you have to come in and serve a drive-through penalty or whatever. But that, I think, is something that needs to be tweaked. I'm not. That's not to say that it's bad. I think it would be better served if it was tweaked a little bit. In a damage indicator, that is a preference thing. I would prefer a damage indicator instead of a message just telling me that I've taken light damage. A damage indicator, like you see on most games, would tell me if I took damage on the left side of the suspension, and I can make the adjustments accordingly. So so that's just me stating my case. You know, everybody's entitled to their opinions. Right. We only got 2 minutes. I'm not familiar with this track. I don't think I've ever raced this track on any sim, so don't expect anything spectacular from me.
Hammer down now.
At Digital Dusty Roads said, I agree on all your points. AddixWrath_Gradner said, have you not noticed the wheel pull resulting from damage?
I'll have to check. Give me a second. Oh shit. Oh, look at that. It jumped from second to sixth. So that was one of my complaints right there. But I'm the only one that's complaining about that. So
Check and flag this lap.
I can't exactly jump up and say that that's a problem with the game itself. It could be a compatibility issue between my wheelbase and something with the game. So have you not noticed the wheel pull resulting from damage? I can't say I haven't, because I don't think I've really played a lot of sessions that had damage in it. However, I do notice on certain tracks, when you go onto the rumble strips, it will try to pull the car off the track. So if you hit those rumble strips, you are fighting to keep the car on track. So But I'd imagine if this game has any simulation like a lot of other games, that yeah, when you've got the damage turned on and you take enough damage, yeah, at some point you will probably be cocked to the left, to the right, and start pulling on you. So, I mean, that's I think something like that is probably to be expected within the game. So I mean, the only way something like that would really fly with anybody is if they have damage set to cosmetic.
I hope you're ready for the start from the back challenge.
Yeah, I don't know this track, so I'm just going to be following people. I'm not making any attempt to try to win, because between the gears skipping on me and me not knowing this track very well, it's probably not going to go very well. Holy shit, it is 12:30 already. So I'm probably going to...
AddixWrath_Gradner said, experiment sometime, hit a wall, your wheel will become misaligned.
Yeah, as I was saying before, that's pretty much, you know, standard with most racing games. So something like that, yeah, I would expect no less than if I've got damage turned on to simulate it, that if I hit a wall, yeah, my wheel's probably gonna be cocked, you know, pretty bad. You know, I'll start digging deeper and deeper and deeper into this game, but I'll definitely explore every nook and cranny of this game once it gets VR support. Because I race in VR, I'm faster in VR, and therefore I don't really see myself being very competitive until I do get the VR support. Now, in this case, if I was in VR, it wouldn't make that much difference because I don't know the track. All right, let's go.
Ain't no stopping this train. Whoa!
Oh, my force feedback just went dead on me. All right, there it goes. It's back.
AddixWrath_Gradner said, tried that eye tracking software to control the camera? Next best thing to VR.
That's an interesting proposition. Oh, look at that. Just jumped to 5th gear. Come on. that's just not flying with me with this thing skipping gears. It's just absolutely killing my acceleration. Even when I flick it. Oh, oof. Oh my God, jump from first to sixth.
Last lap, keep pushing. Oh my God. So yeah, there you have it right there. There's my biggest issue. Is when I'm racing online, the car is skipping gears. It doesn't do that in single player races, so I can only chalk that up as a network issue. I don't know if that's because of latency or not. So whatever EJ has in store for us for this next race, it'll probably have to be my last race of the night because I'm going to need to get to bed. It is 12:39 a.m. here, and I have to be at work at 6. So despite the gears skipping on me, I enjoyed that. So let's stick with the GT3s and try a different car. Oh, Daytona, cool. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, what shall we... Whatever you do, EJ, please don't change the track. I think I'm gonna give the Porsche a go this time. No, you know what? Let's go with the AMG because I like that. I like that V8 rumble. Rawr. Yeah, let's go with that one. I like that one. Wait. Oh, I saw that. I got that logo on one of the cars I use on Le Mans Ultimate. Let's go with this one. I'd imagine. Looks like EJ might give us a few minutes. So I'm going to grab a drink. I will be right back. And just like that, we're back. I think I watched a few of EJ streams, and I think he seems to like those. He really seems to like those retro cars. All right, vehicle setup. Let's put some softs on here. Let's get a mid downforce. Oh, you hear that electric startup? Oh yeah, that sounds so beautiful with those hypercars. Love it, absolutely love it. All right, let's go.
Ain't no stopping this train. Whoa!
Let's hear some V8 rumble.
All clear.
I definitely know this track, but it is a track where I would be at my best in VR. At the moment, the car seems to be shifting fine. Oh, there it is. I spoke too soon. Oh! Oh my God, come on!
Start of your timed lap. Make it count.
Oh, come on.
You've got 5 minutes left.
Ah! From 3rd to 6th coming out of the bus stop. It's under investigation. When do they plan to resolve it? I think we might have a bug. Because it says I'm under investigation for something I did way back at the bus stop, and there's been no resolution. Reset everything to default and start all over trying to calibrate it here. See if I can take a quick minute to look up some stuff.
Here's what it is. We're going to have traffic to deal with at the start of the race.
All right, I'll take a look at it tomorrow. But in the meantime, once again, let's go Voltron Force.
Excuse me. That might be a bug that I'm hearing RPMs. Well, that might be somebody revving it. Probably revving the shit. Okay. Nope. No bug. Sorry. Somebody's just revving the shit out their car. Oof. Oh, Jesus. Just like that, it skipped from second to fourth to sixth. So yeah, that is my biggest issue. Ah, Jesus! I should have just put this on automatic.
don't know if I got knocked into the wall or not. It says I got heavy damage. But right there, that'd be a perfect instance where a damage indicator would come in. My wheel doesn't seem to be crooked either. But I see the smash on the hood though. Jesus. From second to sixth. I lost my wing. And I can't get back into the cockpit. There we go. So yeah, I lost my wing. And it jumped from... Okay, so look. Right there, that's... There's also an issue changing camera angles. So here we go. I'm in neutral. And I held it right there and it skipped from first to sixth. If you'll see the gear number right above my head. And then to change the camera angle, I'm going to press and hold it and watch how it flickers through all of them. None of this happens in a single player race. So like I said, I'm chalking this up as a network issue that, you know, maybe a compatibility issue with my wheel, but it's definitely connected to the network. I've been disqualified. Oh well. Yeah, I lost my wing. But damn, there was rear end damage to the car. So I like that simulated damage on the car though, because look at that right end in the rear. That whole thing looks like the car tried to tear a piece of the car off. So definitely like that. So unfortunately, folks, it is time for me to call it a night. Shout out to EJ for hosting the community lobby. And thank you all for dropping in. And so one last time to put a bow on it with me putting Dave Cam in the title of this stream. It wasn't so much, it wasn't about his issues with the game, because you can see what's going on with me. I've got my issues with the game. Everybody's got their issues with the game. I'm just like watching how many other content creators are going to jump up and suddenly make a video where they're talking about, let's revisit, you know, Project Motor Racing after a couple months, whatever the case may be. Because I wouldn't be surprised by now if Daycam's already up to 13,000 views on that video. So my whole point is that I think some of these opportunistic streamers may have seen how many views that Dave Cam got in such a short amount of time, and they might try to jump on that wagon and try to put out a quick video acting like they're really interested in the progress of Project Motor Racing, when they're probably not. They're probably just trying to jump in there and grab some free views. So that's what the whole thing was about. So will Dave Cam's video start an avalanche of a bunch of other people making videos talking about let's revisit Project Motor Racing? So that's what that was all about, putting his name in the comments. So nothing towards him. You know, he's well within his rights to express whatever issues he's got with the game, as we all should. So anyway, that's going to do it for me. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.
It is Monday, and I think starting tomorrow on Le Mans Ultimate, we have a new batch of races. You'll definitely see me streaming Le Mans Ultimate some point during this week and see what else, possibly Race Room. I really don't know when I'll stream GT7 again because I let my PlayStation membership run out, and I have no intentions of renewing it in the immediate future, you know, because it's like beating my head up against the wall, paying $10 a month or $80 a year to play GT7 only to have people knock you off the track. So at least here I can get knocked off the track for free. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching, everybody. I know I'll see you guys again this week. Until then, you all know the line. Wakanda forever, long live the king, and deuces. Everybody have a good one. We will see you soon.